You guys, good morning. My hair's still wet, so it's kind of laying funny, but it poofs out throughout the day. Anyway, so I decided today was the day I'm going to talk about the crazy lady, okay? So I had mentioned, I was like, maybe I don't want to talk about this right now because it's really negative, but I got on this train of thought last night and I was like, is it negative though? It is, yes, but I think it could be a positive thing as well. So I'm going to tell this story, okay? Let's just go ahead and begin. This was, like I said, after I'd quit working with my friend, but yeah, and it was after I'd gone and looked at grooming schools and stuff and figured out that just wasn't going to be the way for me to go. Went out, bought all of my equipment, and I was like, let's do this, right? And I had posted on a Facebook grooming forum. I posted my pictures and said I wanted to groom and blah blah blah. Now I was trying to remember this morning, and I probably should have gone back and looked and seen exactly how this happened. But either the salon reached out to me or I reached out to them I know it was over Facebook Messenger, and I don't know why something is telling me that they actually reached out to me. I think it may have been because of that Facebook post that they saw it. I know she did see it, but I just can't remember if that's how we got talking. So anyway, she's like, I'm looking for a groomer. And, I told her, I was like, I don't think that I know everything yet, so I'll need some training, but I'm pretty good. I know what I'm doing to an extent. As I mentioned in the last video, I felt like I wasn't super confident with curly coated breeds like poodles and doodles and that kind of stuff. I felt like I wasn't, but I'm fine now. I know that I'm fine, and I can do a curly coated breed haircut, okay? But that's completely beside the point. So she's like, come by to the shop and let's talk. And I'm like, okay. So I pull up at the shop. I'm going to try to not give too many details, because if I give too many details about the shop, I mean, chances are, if you really wanted to figure it out, you can figure out where this is. But this salon had something very unique about it. Okay, I'll say that. Little hint for you. Okay, and somebody, I know one of my subscribers, the other day I was like, oh, I'm not going to say where I worked, my corporate place, and then I literally said it, 2 minutes later, I don't know, immediately. It was bad. It wasn't bad. I didn't say anything bad about him. But anyway, so I go to the shop. It's actually beautiful on the inside. Very clean, very modern looking. And it's just set up really nice. And I was like, okay. And I go in and I sit down and talk to this lady. She seems really nice at first, but the first red flag, as soon as I sit down to talk to her, she knew my friend that used to work with me at the corporate place that was now running her own business. And the first thing that she says is let me get the details about so-and-so, what happened, why did she leave that corporate place, and blah blah blah. And this is something that this particular groomer was very open about, so I feel fine talking about it. Basically, the corporate place really undercut her. She had been making X amount, and this is the story she told me, and this is the story she's posted online, but she said that they really cut her pay and she couldn't continue to afford to work there because she had a mortgage. So that was the reasoning she told me, and that's what I told that lady, which again wasn't really her business. I don't know why that was the first thing. I mean, literally, as soon as I sat down, she's like, tell me all about this friend you have, right? And I was like, oh, she's just doing her own thing. And then she asked me, she was like, does she really sing? Because that's one of my friends, that's part of her shtick, is that she sings. And she, oh my God, when I say this girl can sing, I mean, she impresses the hell out of me. Her voice is beautiful. It's amazing. So she kind of switched it to that. It was like, oh, can she sing? I think, because she had told me that the crazy lady, she had told, I almost messed up. She told me that she knew somebody at the corporate place I worked, and that they had told her that my groomer friend had gotten fired for something, which was, to my knowledge, not true. I have not heard that from anybody. So she's trying to say, oh, this and that. flag. But, you know, I'm sitting there. She's telling me all these great things. Like, she's showing me my little station I'm going to be at, telling me all these dogs I'm going to be able to groom. She's going to teach me anything. This lady, I'm not lying. She said that she could have me fully trained as a groomer, like, within a couple weeks or, like, a month. Like, because she was saying it was December, and she was saying by January, like, you're going to be a full groomer. You'll know how to do everything. Like, she told me she was going to pay for me to go to the Atlanta Pet Fair. She was going to pay for my classes. She was going to pay for my hotel. She said the only thing I had to pay for was food. She told me she was going to take me to one of those paint nights where we could paint pictures of our dogs and we'd put it up by our station. She told me she was going to teach me creative grooming. So, like, by now you're probably getting the feeling I was feeling of, like, wow, this sounds too good to be true. Like, that was, like, how I really felt about it. I was like, this sounds incredible. Don't get me wrong, like, getting all this stuff paid for. And she had all the nicest equipment, all the Chris Christensen brushes before I even had that. She had the Walt Bravura, and that's, like, a pretty popular clipper, and I didn't have one at the time. And, you know, I just thought she was so fancy. I was like, wow, she uses, like, all this, like, current stuff. The tables were really nice quality. Like, everything there was, like, super nice quality. The shampoos were really nice. So I'm, like, sitting here like, wow, this is, like, I was like, how did I get this lucky? Like, this seems, like, insane, just insane. That's the only thing I can think to say. I was like, this just seems insane. Like, I felt like I hadn't been having the best luck up until that point, so it just seemed, like, really too good to be true, like, all this stuff, and it was. So anyway, I do the interview. She decides for, like, my interview, like, working interview thing, that she owned a standard poodle, and she wanted me to do his haircut. So, and I told her, I was like, you know, I hadn't really done a poodle haircut. I mean, I had, but, like, I mean, like a 7 all over. And if you don't know what a 7 all over is, it's like a shave down. So I'd only done, like, that kind of thing. I'd never done, like, a floofy haircut before. I'd never gotten to really use the attachment combs. I think I did once at this, like, other place I worked. But, anyway, so I didn't know a lot. And so she walked me through it step by step. We did each thing, and she checked it, and, you know, was telling me that it all looked really good, and, you know, so I finished him up, and then, okay, so the 3 days, the first day I worked there, I kind of skipped over, because it was, like, the day that, I went up and I did all my paperwork and all that, and she just kind of showed me the salon and stuff, but it wasn't anything, like, worth talking about. So day 2 was the day that I came in and did my interview, and, like, did him, and at the end of day 2, she started showing me, all the cleaning and stuff I was going to have to do. Now, notice I did mention that it's a clean shop, and when I say the type of cleaning she did, I mean, she was like a scrub the floor with a toothbrush kind of person. Like, I remember she told me to not, like, how to open the trash bags. I'm not kidding. She literally taught me how to open a trash bag. She taught me how to tie a bandana on a dog. She sure did. She showed, like, you know, like a double knot. I'm not kidding. Like, so I'm, like, starting to pick up at this point. I'm like, she is, like, very anal, like, about all of this stuff. Like I said, the cleaning, it was very meticulous. I mean, yeah, it was a clean shop. Like, I will give her that, but it just seemed like the most. And she kept complaining about the cleaning crews, that they didn't do enough and blah, blah, blah. And when I first got hired, I was under the impression that we still had that cleaning crew. By the second day in, I realized I was the cleaning crew, which is not what I applied for. I did not apply to be the cleaning crew of the world. I said that I wanted to be a dog groomer. And yeah, doing basic cleaning is, like, expected. I expected we would clean, but, like, I'm telling you, this was, like, insane. Like, wipe down every square inch of your station, your table, like, everything. We had to pull everything out. I mean, it was insane. And she wanted me to do this all by myself. And basically, the night that me and her did it together, it took us, like, 2 hours to clean this whole building, which is absolutely insane. Like, this is, like, deep cleaning. Like, her daily cleaning is, like, you know, most people, like, most shops I've worked at, you have, like, 1 day a week that you, like, really, really clean. And this was like a daily for her. So I mean, kudos to her for keeping her shop clean, but like I kind of knew, I was like, wow, this is gonna be like a 3-4 hour process every night. And like I said, she was constantly complaining about her other cleaning people, so I was like, and she's like very particular about it, so if I don't do it perfectly, I'm definitely gonna hear about it. Well, during all this time, I guess I am going to kind of have to disclose what kind of salon it is, which is really going to give away which one it is. But you know what? I'm not going to name the salon, and everything I'm saying is true. So, I mean, come at me if you will, crazy lady, but I'm just, okay. So, anyway, I had posted a status, and I had said, I'm working at such and such hair salon, to groom dogs now, and you know, bring your dogs to me, whatever, right? So I posted that on my Facebook. Well, so my client just texted me for the address. I'm gonna have to, I'll get him whenever I get to Starbucks. But anyway, so I posted that, and then, okay, so the salon I worked at was half human hair salon, half dog salon. So now it's like very easy for you to figure out what the salon is, but who cares? So I had posted on there, and this hairstylist, because as I've mentioned before, I used to be a hairstylist, this hairstylist I was friends with commented on there and literally said, be careful, that bitch is crazy. That's what she said, or that lady's a cunt, or something. No, she called her a cunt, because I remember that specifically. I was like, damn, that's like a really harsh word, right? So, she says that, she's like, hey, like, be careful, whatever. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, do not try to shit all over my new salon. I'm so happy, like, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I noticed a couple little weird things, and that's really, it got me thinking about it. I was like, well, she probably just thinks that because, like, this lady's really anal about, like, cleaning and stuff like that. Like, she's just, you know, and, I was like, that's probably why. And, sorry, a little neighborhood I'm driving through, a little cute man waving, but, so, I was like, whatever, she must just be a disgruntled ex-employee, like, who cares kind of thing. But it did sit with me, right? And, well, it was actually the girl that commented, she was not the one that had worked at the salon. She said that basically a girl me and her mutually knew had worked there. She was like, you can ask her. So I tried to just let it go, but it wouldn't go. So I was like, all right, I have to know. So I called that girl. I don't really want to disclose too much about what she told me, because she did not give me permission to share this story. So anyway, she had like a really bad time, like told me some like really wild stories about this woman, and I was like a little shook. And I told her, I was like, oh, because not only did she want me to stay and like clean for hours by myself at night, she also wanted me to by myself at night, right? Keywords. Like, she like literally was planning on me staying at the shop by myself at night, like in the dark, and it's like not in a nice area. Like, I really did not feel comfortable with that. So I had spoken to my grandpa about it, and I was like, Grandpa, I just really don't feel comfortable like staying at the shop by myself at night and doing all this cleaning. Like, I don't feel comfortable with it. And I told the girl the same thing. I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm kind of stressed, because she was like, she's not going to like it when you tell her that you're not going to want to do that, because that's her plan. She's going to be mad. And I was like scared. So day 3, right? The Mac Daddy. Whoo, and I'm about to pull up at Starbucks. Okay, so, and if you're like, girl, you're already drinking this Starbucks, we've talked about this, right? I know this. I make sure I have enough drinks to get me through the day, because I'm going to be stuck at the shop. Well, I don't want to say stuck. I mean, I'm at the shop for the rest of the day, really, because I'm booked out. But anyway, so I get there the day of day 3, and I'm like nervous at this point, because I'm like, oh my God, I have to tell this lady I don't feel comfortable with staying here by myself and being here at night and all this stuff, and she's going to get mad and we're going to get in this fight. So I've got this on my mind like all day. I'm like so scared. And I get there and I'm like trying to be nice, trying not to give her any impression that like something's going on, you know. I'm just like trying to be nice. And I get there and she tells me like, okay, you need to groom like these 3 dogs. Gives me like, it was crazy. Like, I'm like the type of person, like if you need me to do something, like you better either write it down for me or like make it like pretty simple if you're just gonna say it to me really quick, because I will forget little details. Like, that's just you know, it's something I'm working, I can get better at it, but I'm just telling you the type of person I am, okay? So, because I don't like to say, like, well, this is how I am, because that's, you know, the secret. Anyway, it's that if you decide that's what you are, then that is what you are. So, anyway, off topic. But, so she tells me, like, this whole list of, like, stuff you need to do, like, and she tells me to do this D-shed on this lab, and this is important, okay? So, she was like, do this D-shed on this lab, and this is how you do it. She was like, so you'll shampoo it, and then you put the conditioner on top of the shampoo, and then rinse it all together and blow dry it. And I'm pretty sure that's all she told me to do, was the shampoo, conditioner, rinse, and blow dry, right? I don't even think she told me to put a leave-in on it. So, I do that, put the dog in the dryer, and I'm trying to remember what else. It's been a while. So I do the dog or whatever, put him in the dryer. I think I did his nails and all that. I really cannot remember. That's not, I guess it's really not important to the story. So anyway, I do the dog, put him in the dryer. Mom comes to get the dog, right? And it's like a friend of the owner. Hold on, let me go order my drink.
Thanks for choosing Starbucks. This is Marcus. What can I get started for you?
Hey, can I get a Trenta pink drink with light ice and no strawberries?
Of course. Is that all for you right now?
Yeah, that's all.
616. So you moved it. Thank you.
Thanks. I'll just pay on my watch so I can continue with my story. So, Mom comes and gets the dog. The owner introduces me to her. She's like, oh, this is my friend. And, she's like the lady, like, tips me $10, and she's, like, really happy with everything, and she's like, he looks great, and, like, she's like, you'll be seeing me, or whatever, everything's great, right? Oh my God, okay, I have not relived this experience pretty much since it happened, okay, so it's all coming back to me right now. Okay, so, everything's great, right, and I'm cleaning up, and all of a sudden, the crazy lady, that's just her name, because that's what she was, I'm sorry, I'm just calling it how it is, right? So, the crazy lady's like, hey, I just got a text on my phone. She was, like, finishing a dog, right? And she's like, I just got this text on my phone, can you read it to me? Which I immediately thought was really odd. Like, why would you ask your brand new employee to come and take your phone and read you a text? So I was like, okay. So I read the text and I start reading it, and it's about me. And it's that lab that I had just done that was her friend's dog. And basically her friend was saying that it looked like crap, and that, you know, that I had done all these things wrong. Oh, she said, this is really important. Now remember, I did not say I used any type of brush on this dog. She told me to blow dry it. So she was, like, saying that I cut the dog's hair with a Furminator rake. I don't use a Furminator rake. I still, like, that is not something, if you use Furminator rakes, go for it, but that's not something I personally use. So she's like, yeah, she cut its hair with the Furminator rake. And I'm reading this, and I was like, I didn't use a Furminator rake on it. And then my boss is like, oh, well, you must have used some sort of brush to cut the hair. So, lady, I know you already read the text. I know what you were doing. You're being manipulative. Okay. So I was like, well, I didn't, and she's like, well, what did you brush it with? And I was like, I didn't brush him with anything. You said to blow dry him and put him in the kennel and do whatever. So I did that. And she was like, you didn't brush it? And I was like, no, you didn't tell me to brush it. Also, another side note I forgot to add was that the day before when I was grooming her dog, I was like, you know, when we do a D-shed, please show me how you do your D-sheds, because I promise you every shop I've worked at has done it differently. I do it differently now than I've ever done it before. Anyway, so I had specifically said to teach me how to do D-sheds her way. She never mentioned brushing, so I didn't brush. And this woman is claiming I cut the hair with a brush, which I knew was bullshit. Okay, I knew it was bullshit. And this woman, the crazy lady, is over here like, she's like, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. Like, you know, I thought you knew all this stuff about grooming, and, you know, you don't know anything. Essentially, we're gonna have to start you over at square one. Hold on, let me go up and pay for this. Hey.
Need any cupcakes?
No, they're at home. Got a booked up day today. Thank you so much. You too. I told y'all they know me here. Anyway, so she's like, we're gonna have to start you over, like basically back as a bather, like saying like you can't groom dogs. She's like, ugh, like shaking her head, like really like trying to destroy my confidence, you know what I mean? And again, I know my steering wheel's dirty. I'm gonna clean my car. It's gonna happen. Maybe this weekend. That's universe. Make me clean my car this weekend, okay? I need to dye my hair too. Anyway, so she's like, we're gonna start you over and blah blah blah. And at this point, I've decided in my head, I was like, no, we're fucking not starting over. I've been busting my ass for all this time. I know I can groom. I know I can do these haircuts. I know I'm a fucking badass. I'm not starting over. So I'm like sitting here as she's saying this, like I'm like reconsidering. I'm like, maybe this is not the shop for me. Maybe this is the too good to be true is what we're seeing now, right? And I didn't text the guy when I was at Starbucks. Look at him when I get to the shop. So I'm like, just kind of sitting to myself like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Well, next thing I know, she's like, you need to give me that tip back. And I said, why? And she was like, because you did such a bad job, we have to give them refund back or blah, 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 blah. It was like really weird. She like instantly like got mad and she was like, why are you questioning me? And I was like, because that doesn't seem right to me that I would have to give the tip back. I was like, I'm literally just asking. I was like, I don't give a shit about $10. Like, you can have it back. I'm not worried about that. I literally just asked you why. And she was like, you're being disrespectful and like all this. And like, we went back and forth. And I mentioned this in my other video where I said like I would talk about this story time. I am not that person to really get in arguments with somebody. But like the way this woman was coming at me, she was trying to destroy my confidence. She wanted me to feel like shit about myself. And I knew. I was like, well, we're not going to work, obviously. So I was like, I just didn't give a shit. I was like, I think it's bullshit. I was like, I didn't do anything wrong on that dog. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, if you really need $10 that bad, then by all means take the $10. Like, I don't need it that bad. Like, I'm going to be fine in my life without that $10. And she was like, well, you need to decide what you're going to do. And I said, oh, honey, I've decided. And I just went and started packing my things. And she, like, I think it hit her because she kind of shut up for a little bit. And as like at the end, like this is how new I was. I'd filled out my paperwork, but she still hadn't even gotten my social security card and stuff to put me like in her system or whatever. So like after that whole thing, she had to put me in her system. I was just like on next level pettiness by this point. So she's putting my name in the system and stuff, and she was like, well, I wish it could have worked out because I think you're a really great groomer. And I was like, oh, thank you, but it wasn't going to work out because I know some of your ex-employees and I know what kind of person you are. Like I said, I was petty at that point. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Lady, you needed to hear that. And this is the reason I'm telling this story because it really pretty much ended there. I went and drove home and felt like crap for a minute that I quit my job. But then, you know, I was really scared to tell my grandpa because I'd been wanting to, like, I wanted to have good news for him. And I want to do good in my life and I want to have good things to share with my grandpa. So it was like, it was not a good feeling to have to call him and be like, yeah, I quit. But when I told him the story, even he said, he was like, it didn't sound like you have a choice. I mean, the way that this woman came at me, trying to belittle me, tell me I couldn't groom and all that. And then ironically on the way out, she's like, I think you're a really great groomer. Like, you didn't think that like 10 minutes ago when you said you were going to start me over as a bather. And, oh, and by the way, by starting me over as a bather, I would have made like really, I think I would have made like $8 an hour as opposed to like the 50% commission, which is what I deserved because groomers make 50% commission and I was going to be a full groomer. And I guarantee you, had I continued to work there, she probably would have had me being a full groomer but paid me as a bather because she was trying to tell me that I was not capable, that I was not good enough to be a full groomer. And to that I say to you, crazy lady, fuck off, because I'm a damn good groomer and I don't give a shit what you say, crazy lady. I do not care. This is the one thing in my life that I feel like I am truly good at, and I am happy with my career and I'm happy with myself. And quite frankly, this lady can suck it. And the reason I'm telling this story is because if you are out there and you're dealing with a boss like that or a person like that in your life that's trying to make you feel like you're not shit, they are not shit and they can fuck off. And I'm so sorry, like, if you are not super into like bad language, I'm being real with you. This is how I would talk to you if you were my friend. And that's honestly how I feel about the situation. And I am so thankful looking back, because at a different point in my life, I would have sat there and I would have taken everything that woman said to me and I would have believed it about myself. I would have believed that I was a shitty person, that I couldn't groom. I would have believed all that. And there was something, I had this, like, something hit me this day, like right before all of this happened, that I needed to stand up for myself more. And it was like the universe threw this woman in my face to make me have to stand up for myself. And I'm telling you this much, like, yeah, as much as I'm not proud that I've gotten a screaming match with this woman, I felt so good afterwards that I stood up for myself. And I am so thankful to this day that I did not listen to her, and that I knew better, that I knew I was a good groomer, and I knew I could do better than that, and that I knew that even that lab or whatever the fuck she had an issue with, there was no issue there, and I knew I did my best. And I'm telling you right now, if there's somebody out in this world that's making you feel like crap, you're better than that, and you don't have to listen to them, and you do not have to deal with their shit. And you know what? That woman's still probably looking for a groomer if she's even still open. And to give you an idea, her shop was located like on the same street as the corporate place I worked at. I'd never heard of her. Still never heard anything about her. I only know who she is now because I worked there for 3 days. So anyway, don't take people's BS. You do not have to put up with that. And yeah, happy fucking Monday, okay? And like I said, it's a negative story, but at the same time, I feel so powerful when I talk about it, because I really stood up for myself that day, and I needed to do that. And I'm here to tell you today that you can stand up for yourself too if you need to. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really great Monday. And I hope that this story was fun for you, and that it made you feel inspired to tell your boss that you don't need in your life to fuck off. There are other places in the world that will appreciate you, okay? And if I had never quit that job and I'd stayed there, I would have been fucking miserable right now, and I wouldn't be the groomer I am today, okay? So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for the bad language, but that's just who I am as a person. If you don't like bad language, then you're probably on the wrong channel. I'm just saying. So anyway, I'm happy with myself, and I hope that you are happy with you, because you should be. And yeah, I love you guys, and I hope you have a happy Monday.